Welcome back to History of Simple Things. Today's topic comes from one of our viewers, Sasuzer MC3075. Thanks for the suggestion. You asked, why isn't the bald eagle actually bald? At first glance, the name doesn't seem to make any sense. After all, bald eagles have a full head of bright white feathers, so why would anyone describe them as bald? Is the name simply inaccurate, or did the word bald once mean something completely different? Stick around as we uncover the surprising history behind the name of one of the world's most famous birds, right here, on History of Simple Things. The bald eagle has been known by this name since at least the late 1600s, long before it became the national bird of the United States in 1782. Early English settlers in North America borrowed a much older meaning of the word bald. Today we use it to describe someone without hair, but centuries ago bald could also mean white-headed, marked with a white patch, or having a conspicuous white marking. The word traces back to Old English bald and related Germanic words that referred to a white blaze or streak, especially on the head of an animal. Farmers commonly described horses with a white patch on their faces as bald-faced. That older meaning has mostly disappeared from everyday English, but it survived in the name of one remarkable bird. So when early naturalists saw an eagle with a brilliant white head contrasting against a dark brown body, calling it a bald eagle actually made perfect sense. It wasn't saying the bird lacked feathers, it was describing one of its most noticeable features. This is what makes the name so confusing today. Adult bald eagles have feathers covering nearly every part of their bodies, including the top of their heads. In fact, their feathers are specially adapted to keep them warm in freezing temperatures, repel water, and help maintain smooth, efficient flight. If you were to look closely, you'd find no bare skin on the head except around the eyes, beak, and nostrils, just like many other birds of prey. Ironically, some birds that actually do have bald heads, such as vultures, aren't called bald because of the same historical naming tradition. Their featherless heads evolved for practical reasons, helping them stay cleaner while feeding on carcasses. Bald eagles, meanwhile, earned the name simply because their white heads stood out so dramatically. Here's another interesting twist. Young bald eagles don't even have white heads. When they hatch, juvenile bald eagles are mostly dark brown with scattered white patches across their bodies. Their heads blend in with the rest of their plumage, making them look completely different from the iconic adults we recognize today. It takes about 4 to 5 years for a bald eagle to develop its famous snowy white head and tail. During each annual molt, old feathers are gradually replaced with new ones until the bird reaches full adult coloration. This slow transformation helps scientists estimate a bald eagle's age simply by looking at its feathers. A bird with a mottled head is still immature, while one with a bright white head has reached adulthood. That striking white head isn't just for appearance. It serves an important purpose in communication. Bald eagles often recognize one another over long distances while soaring hundreds of feet above the ground. Their bright white head and tail create a bold visual contrast against forests, rivers, and mountains, making them easier to identify during courtship, territorial displays, and interactions with other eagles. Researchers believe these markings help mature adults signal their age and breeding status. Younger birds with their darker plumage are often treated differently by territorial adults, reducing unnecessary conflicts while they search for their own territories. Nature often uses color as a form of communication, and the bald eagle is a perfect example. Despite the confusing name, the bald eagle became one of the most recognizable birds in the world. In 1782, the newly formed United States selected it as its national emblem because it was native to North America and represented strength, freedom, and independence. Its image soon appeared on government seals, military insignias, official documents, and eventually coins and currency. The species later faced serious declines during the 20th century due to habitat loss, hunting, and especially the widespread use of the pesticide DDT, which weakened eggshells and reduced successful breeding. After DDT was banned in the United States in 1972 and conservation efforts expanded, bald eagle populations gradually recovered. By 2007, the bird had recovered enough to be removed from the U.S. endangered species list, becoming one of conservation's greatest success stories. So why aren't bald eagles actually bald? The answer has nothing to do with missing feathers and everything to do with the history of the English language. Centuries ago, the word bald could describe something with a bright white marking, especially on the head. Over time, the meaning shifted to what we know today, having little or no hair, but the eagle's name never changed. It's a fascinating reminder that names can preserve pieces of history long after the original meanings of words have faded away. The bald eagle's name may sound misleading today, but it offers a glimpse into how people described the world hundreds of years ago. So the next time you see a bald eagle soaring overhead, you'll know there's nothing bald about it at all, just a centuries-old name that has stood the test of time. And sometimes the most interesting stories aren't about the animals themselves, but about the words we've been using to describe them all along. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.